I'm Laurie, and this is our last installment of the Mosaic Collage tempered glass videos. Here is the almost completed piece right now. I've used the tempered glass in certain sections of it. I could continue and use the crushed glass in places, like maybe right in here if I wanted to, cut that. I could add additional embellishments. I have some circles here, a couple of squares over here, but I feel like I'm good where we're at. So when you do, just to reiterate, when you are putting down your tempered glass, it's a combination of 50% water, 50% glue, and you mix that up. It's pretty liquidy, and you do have to let that dry completely clear. It does take a bit of time. What we're going to do next is to grout, and we're going to be using tints. And I think, you want to come to that?
Yes, so the final stage is would be grouting. And you will, you can either come in here and we can do it together if you feel comfortable, or you could do it, I can give you the stuff, you can do it at home. But this is just a little video. So we typically with this type of mosaic, it's nice to use tinted grouts, which means rather than just using the gray or black or tan colored, we have tints. And so Lori and I went through our cupboard, and we have, here are the different, we would thought maybe we'd do a walnut brown. Then we thought that was too dark. And this is a yellow. We thought that might be too light. We were searching for an olivey color. And then we found this car yellow. And here it is. And we think that will be a nice color. We kind of want it to contrast with some of the colors in the mosaic. So there's a lot of blue in there. So it'll contrast with the blue, but I think it'll also highlight some of the olive colors and salmon color in there. So I'm going to one of the things about tints is that you have to use, when you use tints, you have to, well, you can stay there, I'll move it over.
Oh.
You have to use white grout. If you try to use tints with gray, they just don't come out the same. So I have already measured out this little container of white grout. I'm going to pass it over to Lori. You can grab that. It is in white grout. I mean, the tints you can use from 1% by weight up to 10%. So we're going to use 10%. So, yeah, don't zero it. Grout on the scale, and it weighs 7.3 ounces. And Lori, we're going to add 10%. We're going to go for the full strength, and that would be up to 8.1 ounces, 7.4 ounces of grout. And it's not moving much there.
It just did.
Okay, yeah.
It's 7.5.
So it's actually 10% is kind of a lot. And you keep going. You can turn it towards yourself.
I'm going to add a
Oh,
splash.
want to add a little? Okay.
Yellow
We're going to go
iron.
wild here. And you have to add it in dry. You really can't mix water and see, oh, I don't like that color, I want it darker, and keep adding. It really won't work. You need to add to it dry and then mix it up really well. Yeah, keep going. The tints are very light and airy, so it looks like you're adding. Okay.
That's 8.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it quits.
Okay, that's fine. So now, now we're going to mix that up.
Because 8.1 was the magic number.
Right. Right. It's not 100. Well, this scale, I don't know how accurate it is.
Okay.
So so you want to mix that dry with your little spatula, or either one. Okay, and then Laura's gonna add water, and I think we'll do that. So this is what it looks like. So we've added the white sanded grout and the tint, and we stirred it together, and now Lori's gonna add the water for the grout. She's gonna add it slowly because you don't really want to add any more grout or the tint. And then once we get it to the right consistency, which I'll show you what that is, we're gonna let it sit for 5 minutes. So the grout is mixed. It's not the most beautiful color right now, but it will be when it gets on the mosaic. So I'm going to let Lori explain how she is going to grout her mosaic.
So here are some of the tools I'll be using. Because the depths are all over the place here, I'm going to use this tool especially to kind of scrape out and try to lay the grout on the top side of the tempered glass. I think it'll give a nice clean look to it. But anyway, I'm just going to jump right in and see how we go. Well, I do use my fingers a lot, my hands.
Yeah, you can use your hands. You can also use this tool if you like.
Get the edges, of course.
And we will, so this class includes a frame. What we'll do before you frame it, we can paint that wood so you don't have that wood color showing through. Sometimes we paint it kind of in a shade of color that you grout, or you could paint it black, or you could paint it gray, whatever you really like. And one of the things, hopefully we did today, is particularly when you use tint, you want to mix up enough grout to finish your project, because it's really hard. The tint is very, it's concentrated, it's strong, so it's really hard to get the same color that you get the first time. So we hopefully mixed up enough to grout in one shot. Scary when you cover up your mosaic project. It's kind of like playing with mud. Then you get to uncover it.
So here's a tight little spot in here. I'm just gonna dab that in there.
So Lori is digging out air because this mosaic, the crash glass is higher than some maybe clear glass she put in there. She's starting to dig out where the regular glass is lower than the crash glass. So that takes a little extra. Okay, so we're going to take a little break while Lori does more cleaning, and then we'll come back for the final clean of your mosaic. Or I should say second to final clean. So now Lori is using just the t-shirt rags to clean up, and you can see the mosaic. You can start to see through it. And this grout will dry a little bit lighter. It's always a little darker when it's wet. The other tool that's nice for when you're grouting is your basic Q-tips. We like to use the kind with the paper, not plastic, paper stick part. But Q-tips are really nice. You can get into little cracks and crevices. Lori, do you see any spaces where you might have gotten glue on top?
Let's see. Probably right there. I can see
yeah,
right there.
I don't know if you can see here.
Let's see if we clean this off.
So
Right
yeah.
there.
Wait a second. Oh yeah. So this metal tool is really great. So that is like a little. You can see where the glue. Maybe you've gotten some glue on top. remember it dries clear, but then when you add water, it turns opaque. So now she scraped that off,
Scrape that right
and
off.
it looks great. So I said this is the second to final clean. This second to final clean you'll do here at the studio. It looks really clean, but then the next day or later in the day, you're gonna do the final clean, which is really just using dry cloths and doing what we call, just going to get rid of the grout haze. So after the grout is completely dried between the cracks, you wanna go back and clean up a little more. You can use a dental tool, you can use a toothpick to kind of scrape down any edges that you may have missed, but also just a dry cloth just to rub along the whole piece. So we are going to take a little break and come back when. Why don't you hold up the hold it up right side?
Yeah.
So we're almost done with the mosaic. There's a couple of, I mean, it still needs kind of a lot more cleaning.
Yeah.
So so Lori has a question. Yeah.
So, within here, I forgot what's in here. Do I dig deeper?
She's not sure if there's a piece of glass beneath that, but what I always say, you have plenty of grout.
Yeah.
Here's your grout left over. I say dig down there and see if there's anything. If there's nothing, you can always put the grout back on top. But you want to uncover all of the glass that you
So there is
you put-
something.
oh, okay.
I don't know what yet.
Sometimes you put a little Millefiori down there.
Yeah, it's another layer of glass. It's just a different height.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I wonder if taking a picture before we grout.
oh yeah, you could do that next time.
Yeah. See, so I can dig.
Yeah, so there's something under there. Good. You always want to uncover stuff. So we are pretty much done with this for today. The glass is pretty much cleaned up, and later today I will look at it again and do the final cleaning and send, and that will be included in the end of this video. So this will be video 3 that you could watch prior to your in-person class. So Lori is done with the grouting and the cleaning, the first and the second and the final cleaning. I like the color of the grout. It really makes the blues and oranges stand out. The only thing I wish we had done a little differently is if you see the little beads, the little small circles down here, kind of wish they were more the colors of the paper. I think they would have stood out a little more. But it's all cleaned up, and so that's the end of part 3. So you have 3 separate videos you could watch to kind of as an overview of this whole process. I will go over it again with you when we're in our Zoom meetings, but I just wanted you to see the overall process and the final product. I look forward to meeting and working with you soon. Thanks.